I want to hold a world record, achieve something no one else has ever done before. But this is a lot easier said than done. And over the next 10 days, I will fully grind for an unbreakable world record. But before we get into that, I need to decide what record I actually want to break. You see, there are almost an unlimited number of world records in Geometry Dash, but none of them are necessarily easy. For example, there are attempt records, requiring you to beat a level in an insanely low attempt count, or impossible level records, where you are the first person to ever achieve a percentage on a level. There's even world records for the hardest level beaten using your... Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just not good enough for most of these records, and even if I did find a super niche level with a really low record, my score would most certainly be broken. I need to find something only I excel at, something so weird that even players that are objectively better than me would struggle with. Something so stupid. I have an idea. I've been playing Geometry Dash since I was 7 years old, and during this time, I've completed many difficult levels. But one thing my experiences all have in common is dying an insane amount to the ending of these levels. I always die everywhere! And this has convinced me that I am a little too talented at dying. Yeah, you see where I'm going with this. What if I was the best at dying on a level? I sucked so much that no one else could suck more. And at last, I found the perfect record for me to break. Now, all that's left to do is pick out the perfect level to suck at. It can't be something too easy, because then all the unemployed nerds will play it for hours on end. But it also can't be too hard, because I kinda suck at the game. So, after considering my options, I actually changed my approach. What if instead of dying hundreds of times to one level, I was the fastest person to reach death a single time? This finally seemed like the perfect idea for my world record, and after doing some research, I also think I found the perfect level to play it on. How to Platformer. Yeah, this level's really just not this cool. How to Platformer, a level featured in my most popular YouTube video, and popularity equals money. So I'm gonna be rich. Okay, no, this wasn't really my motive behind the level. How to Platformer provides a perfect landscape for the speedrun, and let me explain to you why. This level contains exactly 27 rooms before the first spike. Each room itself is unique and includes timings that can be perfected. Getting to room 27 itself is pretty easy and doesn't take much time, but imagine if you spent hours learning every individual room and the fastest way to progress. And like I said, this is a platformer level, so any of the insane nerds with hundreds of extreme demons would struggle with the physics of platformer mode. So finally, I found my perfect world record, I know what I want to do, and the level I want to do it on. Now it's just time for me to attempt my first run. Oh! Booyah! 41 seconds. 0.134. My first ever time on this run. Clearly, it's got some work to do, but I finally started my progress towards my goal. But even with this time, I still do have an issue. You see, in popular speedrunning categories like Minecraft or just more popular Geometry Dash levels, there are always competitors. People you are actively competing with and can compare your scores to. This is my issue. After literal hours of research and asking around, somehow not a single person has attempted this record, which I guess makes sense. I mean, who's stupid enough to think of this idea? And without competition, this just wouldn't feel fair. I mean, I'd literally just be competing against myself. So, competition is necessary in my journey, and I do actually have an amazing plan to attract some competition. Yeah, I just made a YouTube short about it, slapped $100 in the challenge, and called it a day. But when I woke up the next day, this plan worked perfectly. Hundreds of people hitting my DMs to submit their times, and honestly, destroying me in the process. But all this means is I have more work cut out for me, and it's time to actually perfect this run. For day 2, I decided to memorize every single room in this run. You see, while being in one room, you can't actually see into the next. So instead of taking a pause to process what's in the next room, what if I already knew what was there? This learning process only took about an hour and is definitely the most effective thing I've done so far. Then when I started trying the run from zero, I just got better and better until eventually I pulled off this insane run. 36.02. Oh my god. With a new time of 36.02, I now hold the world record. Well, had the world record, because this time lasted about 5 minutes. A YouTuber by the name of Risp decided to give this challenge a try, and in the process, achieved a new world record of 35.27. And while this score isn't a huge problem, Risp competing is a problem. Not only is he very unemployed, but he also holds a tied world record on the sewers. Yes, the Rob Top level, meaning this guy had thousands of competitors but still came out on top. Basically, I'm completely cooked, and by the time I woke up on day 3, I had plenty of more people beat my current time. But this is honestly expected. No unbeatable time was going to be achieved in only 2 days. Every room, every jump, every pixel needed to be perfect. So that's exactly what I did. I spent the entirety of day 3 improving this run. I was so desperate to find the most optimal path in this run that I teamed up with one of my friends named bluutemp. Now, I'll get more into him later, but for now, all you need to know is that we combined our strategies and my time started to rapidly improve. Whoa! New best! New world record! Holy guacamole! With a run of 35.112, I am once again a world record holder. And even though this time is only by a few milliseconds, in a run like this, that's a pretty significant amount of time. To further explain, when trying to speedrun through these rooms, there are various skips you can take to save time. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these because there's just so many that save literal milliseconds, but here are the most difficult skips in the entire run. Room 10. When jumping through this block, instantly click your reset key the second you hit the checkpoint. This is because your cube jumps way higher than it needs to, and resetting cuts out all of this missed time. Room 15. Jump at the perfect frame to not bounce at the top of these slopes, and also gain a speed boost on the other side. And finally, room 24. The worst timing I've ever seen in my life. This click is so bad that multiple other runners, including my top competitors, refuse to do this jump because it's so stupid. But I am pushing for the unbreakable world record, so I must do whatever I can to lower my score. With that said, if I can perfectly combine all these skips, I could hypothetically achieve a sub 35 time, which for this entire competition was thought to be impossible. Oh my god. Oh, no one's beating that. No one's beating that. Finally, the 35-second barrier has been absolutely shattered. And with this amazing time, I can finally go to sleep peacefully. They broke the record. During day 4 of the losers competition, a completely unheard of competitor by the name of MasterBub has achieved a new world record of 34.654. Wait. What? After 4 whole days, I broke the near impossible 35-second barrier, and a player I've never heard of before just comes in and takes the record? This can't be right. What? Not one, but 2 different people beat my time, and one of them being my own friend. What makes this even worse is when asking Blue about what strategies he used to achieve his time, well... Okay, this is no longer just a personal battle to get the best time possible. I want to destroy bluutemp's time. I booted up my PC, opened Geometry Dash, and played How to Platformer for literal hours. But even when I did improve my time, bluutemp just kept improving. Time after time, screenshot after screenshot, this guy just didn't stop. I played for the remainder of day 4 with very little success. Now, don't get me wrong, I did improve on my record, but it wasn't enough to surpass bluutemp. Currently, Blue holds a time of 34.275 seconds, and I have a time of 34.370. And while this is only a tiny difference, this is all it took to completely demotivate me. In my head, my run was pretty much perfect. I did all my skips, had great movement, and literally just hit everything. How am I supposed to make up time when I already feel like I'm perfect? Well, that's my problem. I don't. Thinking my run is perfect is the best way to lose this competition. I need to come to realization that maybe my strategies just aren't the best. And after reviewing bluutemp's world record run, I actually noticed something very interesting. You see, I know bluutemp very well, and me and him share a very similar mindset. Going into this competition, we are both the type of people to push this run to its limits, which left me confused when I saw him skipping the jump in room 24. While yes, this jump is really difficult, it's not something Blue would just skip simply because it's too hard. And after further research, I actually discovered that it's faster to just not do this jump. All this time, I've been doing this impossible jump for literally no reason. Now, this improvement doesn't do much, but when I'm literally 0.095 off of the world record, it may just be enough to help me beat bluutemp. World record! You gotta be freaking kidding me. Another first-time competitor has shockingly broken the world record. This time, a player named Axiom has achieved a time of 34.25, while also saying, and I quote, "It was a bad run, I can get sub 34. We are now 5 days into this competition, and I no longer hold the world record. What makes this even worse is for the next 2 days, I really won't be able to play. School, life, and honestly this channel needed to be prioritized, leaving me with no time to grind out this level. We have officially made it to the point where I can't just sit down for an hour and crank out 4 world record runs. No, I have to play for literal hours on end to even get close to Axiom's time. And even then, there's still a good chance that I won't be able to achieve my dream of holding an unbeatable world record. Over my 2-day break, the biggest and most difficult barrier of this video so far has been broken. A sub 34 run from none other than Axiom, the completely random competitor who showed up 2 days ago. To help you understand how hard it is to actually get a sub 34 time, I need to tell you about the speedrun's end goal. During this competition, we have discovered a way to find the fastest possible time for this run, this being a task bot. Basically, this is a macro that shows you the fastest possible time to complete the speedrun. Now, the best time the bot was able to achieve was 33.2 seconds, but this time was only acquired using a strategy that is not really humanly possible. So, after further research, top runners have concluded that the fastest possible time we could hypothetically achieve is somewhere around 33.4 seconds. And this is only possible if we hit every single jump perfectly. For example, room 12. If you don't drop down here perfectly, your run's over. Or room 19. You have to perfectly land on this corner. If you go too far to the right, or even miss the jump, your run is now over. There are 26 different rooms we need to get to near perfection to even get close to a sub 34 time. And yet, our brand new competitor Axiom was the first to do so. But how? Even though me and Blue are enemies now, we still shared our previous strategies with each other. Surely this should give us an advantage over anyone else, right? Well, yes, this would be correct, and that's when I found out something fishy was going on. Me, bluutemp, and a bunch of our other friends own a private server, which is also the main spot that me and bluutemp VC in when we are playing How to Platformer. But because anyone else in the server can join call at any time, we theorized that Axiom had an inside man in our private server, someone who would join call and give him all of our strategies. Sounds very stupid, right? I mean, we're literally speedrunning death in a random platformer level. It can't be that serious.
Oh my God.
One of Axiom's closest friends, named Silver Sanctuary, also happened to be in our private server, and as you can see, he was literally spying on us to give our strategies to Axiom. Apparently he was also telling him how much we were playing and what our scores were, which is just insane over a stupid speedrun, by the way. And on top of all this nonsense, I played for literal hours on day 7 to make up the time I missed. And even after all this extra playtime, I couldn't even get close to Axiom's best time. And honestly, it wasn't just me. Literally every other close competitor stopped grinding. Risp, Zavori, Master Bub, they all quit. The only determined players left were Axiom, bluutemp, and me. But no matter what me or bluutemp did, we couldn't surpass Axiom's score. What was so special about his run that no matter what we did, we couldn't catch up? Well, it turns out Axiom didn't just steal from us, but he also developed some strategies of his own. And I knew the perfect way to gain access to these strategies.
What the hell, boy?
Yeah, I just begged him in his DMs, and it worked. Basically, almost nothing was different from my runs except one room, which would slowly turn into the hardest room in this entire challenge. Room 17. When Axiom enters his room, he jumps as late as possible off this first block. Not only is this timing extremely hard, but it's also almost completely blind. Then he lands on this slope, waits a few frames, and clicks again. Learning this tech was a huge game changer. Not just because it would save time, but because I'd have to practice this jump for so long. So much so that day 8 was another dud. No matter how much I tried, my time just never improved. Going into day 9, I was honestly starting to lose hope. If I couldn't get a new world record soon, then this entire video was a waste of time. So I started digging. I needed to find something that no one else does, something I can do to save extra time on everyone else. But after searching through the level for over an hour, only one room comes to mind. Room 15. You see, when I mentioned this room earlier in the video, I left out a few small things. This jump is completely RNG. For the entire competition, almost every competitor has tried finding a consistent way to get the boost, but almost no one has been able to do it. And if you look at majority of the current world records, pretty much none of them contain the slope boost. Something like this is just not efficient and would probably be the biggest waste of time of my life. Is it really worth spending hours trying to achieve the perfect run, especially when this jump is just literally RNG? Well, going into day 10, I made my decision. For the last day, I'm going to give it everything I have. If my run isn't perfect, I reset. If I don't hit the 1 in 100 slope boost, I reset. Everything has to be perfect on this day. And if I don't get my world record back, well, then I've officially lost this challenge. Everything from the past 9 days has built up to this moment, and I cannot afford to lose. Was no, probably mine, the first time I passed 30, sub 34, and then that got broken like a day later. I just don't remember. Oh no! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I just got 33.679. I achieved a new world record on the final day. A time so good that no one else could ever think to beat it. You've got to be f***ing joking. Welcome to the end of the video. It's currently 6 a.m. as I'm recording this right now, and I hope you enjoyed. If this video hits 5,000 likes, I will spend a week trying to get my world record back. And shout out Axiom, shout out bluutemp. You guys are unemployed, and just take my money. Just take it.